ladies and gentlemen. Thank you so much for joining us today in our weekly real estate show for Northeast Florida real estate. My name is Angela Olmos. If we haven't met yet, I'm a full-time real estate agent in the Northeast Florida area. And today I have my co-host, Delaney Bravo, who is going to be sharing with us a wealth of information about tips and tricks for bringing down your payment when it comes time to getting your mortgage on buying your home. And I also have the pleasure of having my friend Terry Santos, who is the site agent at one of the hottest communities being built here in Northeast Florida, Seven Pines. So we're going to start off by giving you guys a really great overview about this community. And then we're going to wrap it up with what's happening in Jacksonville this weekend. But before we wrap that up, I'm going to be sharing with you guys some information about listings and what's happening with our listing inventory here in Northeast Florida. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm excited to share this with you guys. Let me go ahead and add this onto the stream. Can you see that? That should be coming in fine. But let me just go ahead and get it started from the very beginning. Okay. Terry, can you hear me?
I can hear you, yes.
Okay, perfect. So what we're looking at here is Seven Pines, which I know there's been a lot of hype and a lot of interest in this community. And, you know, for me personally, I think it's just because the location is so prime. We haven't had much new construction in this side of town where you're close to the St. John's Town Center, you're close to the Mayo Clinic, you're close to the beach. So tell us about, Terry, if we could start off with like a 10,000 view overview, of like the location, and then we'll dingle down to like the builders, the type of floor plans, the pricing, and all of that. So tell us about that, Terry.
Yeah, so Seven Pines is located off 295 in Kernan. We're 8 miles from the beach. I would say about 25 miles from the airport, very close to St. Johns County Town Center, about 7 minutes, from there. The community is going to have 1,600 single-family homes in total when it's all completed, and it'll also have 1 million square foot of commercial space with stores and shops, restaurants, and all in there. In Seven Pines, David Weekly Homes is selling 50 and 70-foot home sites. Those are rear and front entry homes. We're ranging from 1,900 square foot and we go up to 4,600 square foot, and price point we're starting in the 570s and up. As you can see in the video, the community is going to have full amenities with resort style pool, splash pad for the kids, lab lane pool. It's going to have residential clubhouse, a fitness center with exercise rooms, and a beautiful lake for kayaking, paddleboarding, with a lounge as well. The amenities also are going to include an amphitheater for outdoor events and the Epic Park area, which is going to have playgrounds, a playground area for children, which is going to be amazing as well. Different parks throughout the community, bridges connecting the neighborhood, and walking trails, about 5 miles of walking trails throughout the community. So the idea is for people to be able to come out and play, enjoy the outdoors. Most of our floor plans have beautiful deep front porches, so more of a front porch life where you can enjoy sitting outside and enjoying the neighborhood life and walking through the trails or walking to grab a bite to eat once the restaurants and the shops are completed. And right now we are selling inventory homes as well as homes to be built. So if anyone is looking for a home that they want to be moved in within 3 to 6 months time frame, we have pretty much something for everyone in every square footage, 1 and 2 story floor plans. It is a master plan development, so we have a CDD in the community, which is $2,994 a year for the 50s, and $90 a year HOA fee.
Awesome. And what did you say prices were starting at, Terry?
Prices were starting in the 570s and up.
And that would be for the 50-foot home sites, is that right?
50-foot homes, floor plans. The 70s are going to start in the 800 plus.
Got it. Okay. And those are our base prices. What are we looking at as far as lot premiums, Terry?
Lot premiums range, you're looking at anywhere between 5,000, and the ones that have waterfront views in the 70s are going to be more in the 70,000-80,000 range.
Got it. Okay. And I like the idea that you're already building some inventory. So as people might want to get settled in, sooner, either because they have, a job that they need to get started at, sooner, that they don't really have the time to have built the home. Or maybe they have they want to get the kids enrolled in school sooner. Tell us about the inventory. What prices would they come to expect with those?
So inventories right now, we're ranging from the high 600 all the way to the, I would say, 1.2, 1.3 range. So we have something for everyone in every square footage, 1 and 2 story plans.
Fantastic. All righty. Well, I appreciate you sharing that with us, Terry. I look forward to seeing you very soon. I like to tell all my clients about it. I know this is probably the biggest it's a beautiful community, but the fact that it's right in the heart of Jacksonville and so close to Mayo Clinic and everything else just makes it ideal. So thank you so much for joining us and sharing that with us, Terry.
Thank you for having me, and look forward to seeing everyone in Seven Pines. Come and see our 3 beautiful furnished models that we have available to see. And it's going to be an amazing neighborhood.
Awesome. Well, we'll see you very soon. Thank you.
Thank you. All right. Bye-bye.
Bye. All right. So that was Terry Santos with Seven Pines. I'm super excited about this community. And now we're going to go ahead and get into our mortgage segment with Delaney Bravo. And she's going to tell us about how to make the payments more affordable. I know you brought a couple different slides. Should we do this one first, Delaney?
Let me see. That one is perfect. So, and one thing I wanted to say about the community is I live in a new construction community, and they had all of the digital videos, just like Terry did, showing like the amenity center and all of that. And I was like, is it really going to look like that when it's all done? And I can tell you 100% our neighborhood looks exactly like the videos. So it isn't a bait and switch. Everything is like to the T in my neighborhood from those videos. So they do a really great job showing you what the community is going to look like.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And I like the idea of the vision that these builders and developers have before they even build the first house. You have the whole thing planned out. It's a great way to relate what the community is going to be able to offer for someone that might not have the visual to see it. So I love this tool. It just makes it so much better.
Yes, it really does. And what I'm going to be talking about today really quickly is the 2-1 buy down. So this is a very hot topic. You'll see it a lot of times on listings. So if you go and look at the description on a house that you're interested in as a buyer, sometimes it'll say seller is offering a 2-1 buy down. So what does that actually mean? So a 2-1 buy down is essentially a lower interest rate for your first and second year. So what would happen is when you close on your home and you lock in your interest rate with the 2-1 buy down, is the first year your rate would be 2 percentage points lower than the current market rate. So you would enjoy for your first year. This is an example with the current market. So if the current rate right now is 6.57%, your rate for the first year would be 4.57%. So 2 points below. And then the second year, it would go up a point to the 5.57%. And then from years 3 to 30, you would have the current market rate locked in. So what does this actually do? What this does is it allows homeowners to get into their homes and it be more affordable for those first 2 years, especially with rates where they're at in comparison to a couple years ago during COVID. That difference, this gets you into a home with a more affordable payment for those first couple of years. And if you wanted to refinance, you are 100% able to if the rates do drop. But it's really awesome because you're getting so much of a savings. This would save you for your first year. This would save you about $200 to $400 a month just based off of your home price. So that is going to make a difference with what your loan amount is, what your home price is, but you could be saving a huge amount for that first year, an amazing amount for the second year, and then you would just have the market rate. So instead of just locking at the market rate and having that for the full 30 years, you get this benefit for the first 2 years.
That's amazing. And, and I love that we're sharing this as an option that people could use to lower their monthly payments, because a lot of times when I meet with buyers, Delaney, I find that they're so concerned about the sales price of the home that they're buying. And rightfully so, because they're the buyers. However, if you don't fully understand that taking the price down doesn't necessarily mean a lower monthly payment, because these home prices are paid over a period of, if you take on a mortgage, typically 30 years, maybe 15, but typically that sales price is paid over a 30-year period. Most buyers don't stay in their home for 30 years. So if you come across an incentive like this, where a seller or you have the ability to buy down the rate, this would be a really good use of the money, because this would be a way of saving immediately, as opposed to seeing the savings over a 30-year period. You get to enjoy this year one and year two.
Absolutely. And a good rule of thumb, just if you're out there looking, is for every $10,000 that you're looking at in your home price, you're going to look about $5 to $7 per month. So if you look at a home that's $450,000 and you're like, you know what, let's look at a lower price point. If you went down to $400,000, that $50,000 would save you about $200 to $250 per month. That being said, you can stay at the $450,000 and do the 2-1 buy down, and you could be saving more money for those first 2 years. This also gives you the opportunity to kind of watch the rates. And that's something I would watch for all of my clients, regardless if they do the 2-1 buy down or not. And let's say the rates drop to a 4%. You have been paying around that amount for your first year. So if they do come down, you can refinance and still keep that low rate. But this just gives you a little bit of a cushion. And if you go to the next one, I'll explain that as well. It's very similar. The only difference with the 3-2-1 buy down is that it is 3 years. So you get an additional point down if you do this option. So your first year would be 3.57, your second year would be 4.57, third year 5.57, and then 6.57 for the 4 through 30 years. So this is an option as well. And it is a great thing to ask the seller for when you're negotiating in offers. If they are willing to pay some closing costs, let's say that you have the money for your closing costs. This could be a great option for any listings. If you're a real estate agent and you want to offer something to help entice some buyers, this is a great option to advertise on the listing. As well as if you're a buyer, a great thing to try and see if you're able to negotiate so that the seller can help make your payments more affordable. And the last thing that I'll say is this is an amazing tool for those who are really high on their debt ratio and need to qualify. Because if we can count your mortgage payment at the 3.57 rate versus the market rate of 6.57, that savings of $400 to $600 a month could help you qualify for more of a home. So this is a great tool in all aspects.
That's amazing. Now, quick question, Lainey, would they still have to qualify with the higher rate, or do you qualify them with the lower and then adjust accordingly?
Yes. So it depends on the loan program. Some of them do require us to qualify with that market rate. Some of them do allow us to qualify with the lower rate or do an average between those first 3 years or 2 years and use that payment. So it depends on being on the mortgage broker side. It depends on which lender we choose. And so I do have some options that give us some more wiggle room if we want to use that lower percentage and qualify with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing with mortgages. A lot of times I find that some of these parameters could shift depending on the loan program that someone might qualify for. So what would be the best way for someone to find out what they could what they could qualify for.
Absolutely. You can give me a call anytime. My number's at the bottom of the screen. So 904-571-1278. So you can give me a call anytime. I can answer any further questions on the rate buy downs. And one other thing is that we have, being on the mortgage broker side, I have over 25 lenders that all have different programs, that all have different guidelines, different requirements. So this is a great option to be a mortgage broker because it allows me to help more clients because I have more options. So it is very rare that a client comes to me and there's zero option for them. So this is just one of the options, but we have everything under the sun. So just give me a call and we can go over what your best options are based off of your scenario.
Amazing.
Yes.
That's great. Well, thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And then now I'm going to go ahead and get into the listing information that I wanted to share with you guys. So I brought this up because this is one of the slides that I was able to use to really be able to visualize what's been happening in the market. I love visuals because it really just helps bring home the points that are evident but are not necessarily seen. So what I like to showcase with this is basically the patterns in the real estate market, what is commonly known as the selling season. Typically, with the start of the spring, we see a lot of buyers come out and have a lot of interest in buying homes. And we see this year after year. And you can really see that by, the patterns that we have here. And it starts with what was happening back in January of 17, and it brings it up all the way till January of this year. So we can see that, we typically start going up in total listing counts right around March, which is very soon. And it kind of has a way of peaking right around the summer. And then later in the fall, they come down. Now, I say all of this just simply to say that it is a pattern, but homes sell at all times of the year, really. I mean, during the holidays, the New Year's, so this is just what we have seen as a pattern throughout history, pretty much. But there's one interesting thing that happened right around March of 2020. Well, a lot of things happened around March of 2020, but it really just kind of sliced down the real estate market in halves because it almost tells the story of a previous market and a market after COVID. You can see that, there was a fair good amount of listings for buyers to choose from right before the pandemic. But right around March of 2020, everything just shifted where there wasn't as many listings for buyers to choose from. And that's really what drove the prices so much higher. And also, as the rates were coming down they were in history, it just created so much buyer demand that it really just skyrocketed the prices. And it also created a lot of competition for buyers, just because the few homes that would come up for sale, everybody wanted to buy them. They were getting lower interest rates at that point, and it was just a big buyer frenzy. Now things are starting to level off a little bit.
Oop, Angela, I think you made me full screen.
Happen. Are we still live?
Yes. You just I just had a spotlight moment for a few.
Yeah, that's so weird. Okay, well, let me just go ahead and bring up the slide again. Here we go. Okay, cool. So where was I? The shifts of two different markets, right? So something happened right in the middle of in March of 2020 where it just kind of tells a different story. But we are about to come up to what we call our selling season here in 2023, but we don't have enough inventory as we did back in 2020, as you can see. So we are definitely seeing these listings, sell faster. I had a couple go into multiple offers here recently. And I think, and Delaney, maybe you can share some of this, but I noticed that as the rates dropped, there had seemed to be like a spike of interest in buyers to come back out and look at this again with fresh set of eyes. Have you noticed that as well?
Yes. So mortgage pre-approval applications are up 40% in January and into this month as well. So people are out there, people are looking for homes, and they're ready to move, especially with coming into that selling season. And a lot of our areas within Northeast Florida have awesome schools. We have a lot of communities with those amenities. So it is a hot spot for a lot of people to try to get in before the school year starts or try to move around summer. So, but yes, more people are looking, more people are getting pre-approved. And so there are going to be more buyers that are needing to find a home.
Yeah, and that makes perfect sense. And even though we are seeing more listings than we did, let's say, a year ago, we are still not at the levels that we were before 2020. We're still on a much lower inventory level that we were back then, as you can see here in the graph. So what the point of all this is, if you have been thinking about getting your home sold, I think this is like one of the best times for you to do this, because there's very little inventory still, so you won't have as much competition. And buyers now are starting to come back out because of the selling season, and also the rates are a little bit more favorable. We're educating them on what they can do to lower their payments. So it's all about just seizing the opportunity and taking advantage of the timing. So if I could help anyone through this process, this is not something that, most people are used to doing several times during their lifetime. The sale of their home maybe only comes around once every 5 to 7 years. So it might be sooner for you. Everybody's different. But if I could help you through the process of finding out exactly how to prep your home for sale, which is absolutely necessary if you wanted to be in the market for just a few days, and not extended days. Another thing, how much you could sell for, how much would you net, how much equity you have, how much would closing costs be. That's the type of value that I could bring to you to show you and give you clarity as to how to do this and get you to your goals. So thought I'd share that with you guys. My information is also scrolling on the bottom of the screen. You're welcome to call me, send me a text, and we can easily set up a confidential consultation. So that way you would know if this is the best time for you to sell. And I'd love to help you get to your goals.
Can I share one thing on the buyer side on this?
Yeah, sure.
So the one thing that I would say is now is a great time to buy. And the reason for that is we are seeing, we don't have a ton of inventory out there. We're getting more inventory than we saw, a year ago or whatever. But what I will say is that with these mortgage pre-approvals being up 40%, that means there are about to be a lot more buyers looking for homes. So if you need to get pre-approved and you want to move, now is a good time, because as more buyers get out there, as more offers are on homes, as more people are looking for homes, what we're going to see is there's going to be a little bit different in how you can negotiate on these homes. And Angela could tell you more about that, but it's a great time to buy right now before all of those people who are looking to get pre-approved start going out and putting offers on homes. You can get kind of ahead of that curve a little bit right now and still have a lot more buying power with the inventory.
Totally. And I think this also gets into the strategy as to how to get your buyer offer approved in a seller's market. You want to be ready. You want to be prepared. You want to have everything that they are going to need to really seriously consider your offer readily available. It's not once you put in your offer, that's not the time to get pre-qualified. You want to get pre-qualified before you put in your offer. I recently had someone ask me, Delaney, if, once they realized that rates were coming down, they asked me if they should just wait until rates came down further to be able to make a move. And I said, absolutely not, because what happens when the rates, if they did go down, which I seriously doubt, but let's say they did go down to where they were last year, then you're going to have that dynamics of everyone wanting to buy in. So yes, maybe you might get a lower rate, but the prices would be higher because there would be so many more people trying to compete for those homes.
Exactly. Yes. And the thing is, I tell people, don't wait to buy real estate and wait. So,
that's so good.
Yes. So if you're renting right now, you aren't building equity. So even if you buy a home and the rates aren't a 2 or 3%, which really we're probably not going to see again. And if we are, it's going to be probably decades. That was like COVID threw everything for a loop. However, buying the real estate, building equity, and then when/if rates come down, you can refinance and lower that payment. But it's very common that we can get you into a home for a similar rent payment, and you would be building equity, and it would be your asset that you're building equity. And then if you want to sell it, you'd make money off of that. Versus rent, you're just paying your landlord's mortgage versus paying your own mortgage and putting money back into your own pocket.
So true. So true. And the sooner you realize that, the better off you're going to be.
Yes.
There's another aha moment that I recently had. A lot of the buyers that are investing in real estate nowadays are millennials. Did you know that? Like a large percentage of them. So millennials are still very young people that are getting their investments during their early years of adulthood. And guess what? The sooner that everyone does that, even if you're not a millennial, the sooner you get into real estate. And just remember, this is not something that you buy now and you sell tomorrow. The best investments are done while you hold these over time, and there could be a lot of different variables. But yes, real estate is about buying and waiting, not just waiting to buy.
Exactly. And the market is cyclical. We'll always see different shifts in the market, different rates. Is it a seller's market? Is it a buyer's market? All of that stuff aside, building equity and having an asset that is your own and being able to, if you need to, sell it and make money on it is a game changer versus renting and not having any skin in the game.
Totally. And then another thing is, if you're renting, you're just paying somebody else's mortgage. You might just not realize that you are paying a mortgage, but you're paying your landlord's mortgage. So this is a much better way of, just gaining equity for yourself, being able to be in an empowered position where you're going to be able to do more because now it's your home. So you have a lot more options. Mm-hmm. Please connect with us. We'll love to help you get into home ownership. And we have all the tools, the experience, and the resources to help you with that.
Yeah.
So, yay. Okay. So what else do we have for today? Things happening in town.
Yes. So I'm going to pull up my screen really quick and I'm going to go over just a couple really quick things that are happening this weekend. So if you're watching this and you're not sure what to do this weekend, then here are some quick options for you. So one thing, and it's happening tonight, but I thought it was really cool. So I wanted to throw it in case anyone's watching this today, is there is a planetarium night live. So this is a great option. Ooh, look, it's telling me if I want to ask a question. But this is a great option for kids, for adults, for a date night, and it is at Mosh.
I love Mosh.
Yes, it's so fun, and it does basically have simulations, planet simulations. You go in there, it's a 60-foot dome, and it is 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. tonight. And it is so fun. I've never been, but I have watched videos. I've had multiple friends who have been, so it's definitely on my Jacksonville bucket list to do very, very soon. So that's just a fun one.
Yeah, this is a special event going on tonight. I think it is. Yes, tonight. But they usually have this running. My kids have attended Mosh for summer camps, and that was one of their best things that they enjoyed was the dome and that planetarium. I enjoy it too. So I hope people get out and enjoy that too.
Yes, tons of fun music and all sorts of stuff. So the doors open at 6:30 and the show is at 7. And just make sure if you're going, just to give yourself some time to get downtown, because we all know how that can be sometimes.
Yeah, with the parking and all. Yeah.
Absolutely. So the second event is the World of Nations celebration. So I went to this years ago, and this is a really, really cool event. So this takes all different, the World of Nations, all different countries. You can get food, from different countries. There's food trucks, there's music, there's vendors, there's costumes. It's really cool. They have a stage and they'll do different, like when I was there, they did like an Irish, what the step dancing or whatever that's called.
Wow.
And they had like the different nations come out. They had, Polynesian with hula dancing. So it was really, really cool. So this is tomorrow and Sunday. So it is right by the stadium downtown. So it's going to be kind of under that overpass, which is a great option. So just make sure you give yourself time for parking. And I believe it starts at 10 a.m. and goes until about 5 p.m. both days. So swing by with the kids, get some food, go to some local vendors. It's going to be a really cool time.
Yeah, and then you get to try our foods from all different countries.
I know, it's like Epcot in our it's our own little Epcot. So yeah, that's going to be really, really fun. So the last thing I thought was really fun is Legacy Ale Works is a great, great restaurant and overall company here. They do a ton of events. They host a ton of charity related events, just fun things like that. And they're having their 4th anniversary party, and it is Sunday from 1 to 4, and it is a kids neon party. So basically they will have a glow party with black lights, a DJ, glow sticks, all of that stuff. So just a fun thing to get some energy out for the kiddos, get them dressed in some fun clothes, put them in white because that always goes crazy under a black light, and they'll be able to dance and do all that type of stuff.
Wow, this sounds like super fun. I hope that everyone gets a chance to attend to this. Yeah, neon parties are always cool.
Yes, and it is off of Old St. Augustine Road. You can see the address right there. So it is, it's just going to be really fun. So those are just the 3 events I picked out: the planetarium, the World of Nations, and then also this fun kids neon party. So give you some ideas for some family fun this weekend.
Amazing. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
All right, guys. So there you have it. In today's video, we went over some of the info about one of the hottest new home communities being built here in Jacksonville, 7 Pines. We had the site agent, my friend Terry Santos from David Weekly Home, joining us and sharing that in this episode. We had Delaney share with us how to lower your monthly payment on your mortgage. I also shared about the listing inventory and what's been happening with listings and how we could use more listings now, and then what's happening in town. So I feel that this is valuable. I hope you guys think it is. And if there's anything else that you would like to see us bring on to our weekly show, please share it with us. If you like to be in our weekly show, if you are connected to real estate, either by being, a site agent at a community, or maybe you're in title, or anything else that would be related to real estate, would love to, highlight you on our show.
Yes. Insurance agents, title, site agents, local businesses. If you make closing gifts, anything that, anything like that, we'd love to have you on.
Yeah, our idea with this is to really get involved with the community, bring value to you about real estate, and please share if there's anything in here that you found valuable. That really is the best way to help us and get the word out there. Just hit the share button. We really would appreciate it. All right, guys. So with that said,
absolutely. And
go ahead.
I was just going to say, I guess that wraps up today, right?
That does wrap it up. It's Friday. And we're getting started on a holiday weekend. So thank you so much for joining me, and let's have a great weekend, guys. And I'll talk to you soon, Delaney. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Okay.